started, and let me just share my screen. Let me know once it's visible. Is it visible?
Yes, it is. It's visible.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, in last session, we had discussed about plotting our data in the graphs and charts, and we'll continue in this session with respect to Power BI itself. This will be our last segment of Power BI. After this, the next two sessions will be DAX. So this was the chart that we had, graph that we had created in our last session. Now you can see there are three options that are available here. Now the one with the arrow is focus mode on. So the moment I click on this, you can see that my graph is in expanded. Okay, I thought, just give me. Can you hear the ting ting voice, or is it me only? It's my. Okay. So by clicking on the arrow button, we have expanded. So this was one of my go-to tools while I used to be, giving my presentations, because while we are preparing report, obviously we are trying to concise in a lot of graphs and charts in one page, and it becomes very difficult now for you as well. Once you're looking at my screen, you can see that it can get quite congested even if you are publishing your dashboard. So no matter what you do, it becomes very difficult to focus on each and every number maybe. So at times while giving presentation, it becomes very important that while you're presenting your data, there are some pointers where you would like to emphasize. So once you click on the focus mode on, your graph will be in the focus mode. Then you have these filters and slicers, the funnel portion, and then you have these three dots. So once you click on export data, whatever data you've populated here, you'll be able to save it in the CSV file, depending on where you would want to save it. Then show as a table. It'll show the data in the tabular format right below your chart. In case your management ever asks you what is the data, let show us in the tabular format. Remove will remove this chart. Spotlight will remove, highlight only this one, and remove the spotlight from other charts. Then comes your sort legend, that you would want to sort it basis descending, ascending, or segment wise. So this was with respect to few of the data points. Now, say I would want to format my this chart. I'll go to the format your visual, and I'll click on border. So I'll click on visual border on, and what color should I give it? Maybe let's keep it black only. So the border is black now, right? Now I can go and click on Format Painter, and I can give border to others. Just give me a second. Some slicer has been clicked, and so anyways, I hope you got the point that while we are formatting our data, while I have clicked on the border, or maybe say I'm making any other changes, I don't need to make changes to all my graphs and charts individually. I can click on Format Painter, and I can replicate all my changes to all my graphs and charts, right? Now, while I'm hovering over my graphs and charts, you can see that there is a black box that is coming with some information, right? Like while I'm at 2015, it's showing that order date year is 2015, segment is corporate, and what are the sales. So I can see this data, right? Now, what is this called? This is called a tooltip. Now, this tooltip is nothing but it is providing us information regarding that particular point where we are at this very moment, right? Now, what if I would want to customize this tooltip? How can I do that? I'll click on this visualization bar on this graph and chart, and here there is something called tooltip. So what are we going to do? We are going to say, let's just try and build one more chart. Let's plot sales and profit. Can we take it over here? Someone's joined in, and we have Ravish. Hey, Ravish, are you there, Ravish?
Hello. Yeah. I am there.
Okay, great.
Sorry for the delay.
No worries. I was just wondering because you're usually the one um, on time. I mean, everything's on time. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, the machine was acting a little funny, so took 5 minutes more. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thanks.
great. So let me just try and plot this data. Uh, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to plot data in a way that we can see how we can plot a tooltip in a better way. Let me just put profit as a tooltip only. Let me, and let's put order date in y-axis and remove few other things. So I'll just show you the difference. So uh, while I've plotted my data, which is with respect to the sales and the year, so it is showing while I'm hovering my cursor on the chart, on the graphs, it is showing me bars, sorry, that order date year is 2014 and what are the sales. So it's just actually giving me the exact numbers. Now, in case if I would want to plot my profit here in this, so this is how it is coming, that profit, and there are two separate bars that have been created. What if I don't want a separate bar for profit? What is it that I can do? So the option that I have is that I can drop profit under the tooltip segment. Now, no separate bar has been created. So if your manager tomorrow asks you, fair enough that you've given a sales of 728,000, but what is the profit that you've made out of those sales? I mean, those sales could very well be operating under negatives as well. So this will give you, you need not necessarily create another bar for that, but you can represent your profit under the tooltip only. I hope the difference is visible to everyone, right? Okay. So now there is another concept called small multiples. So let's pull sales by region. Where is my location? So instead of creating 4 separate charts, what I've done is I have directly pulled region from location under the small multiples. So what it has done is it has created 4 bar charts all by itself. I did not have to create separate bar charts for central, east, west, and south. So you're in middle of your presentation and your senior stakeholders ask you directly that fair enough, these are the total sales, but we would want to see the sales bifurcation region wise. How are you going to show that? I mean, at that very moment, I understand when managers directly ask in the presentation that give us this data or give us this is what we want to see, it becomes very embarrassing that we could not gauge the stakeholders ask maybe at that very moment. So this is one option that we have at that very moment that we can probably use in. I mean, there could be many more use cases as well, but that depends on your need basis. But something that I thought, let's just point out. Again, if you right click on this bar chart, there will be show as table. Group and summarize right now are hidden. We'll see to it. And then there's copy. So once you click on any of the bar, that will show you few more options. Show data point as a table. It will give you, for the East region, it will give you the entire data in the tabular format. It will give you the or the entire region data in the tabular format. Include will give you only the East region. Exclude is going to remove everything. So let me just remove this and put it again. Just give me a second. I did something wrong. And similarly, copy. Now, what if we remove the region part here? We are back to our normal bar chart. Let's click. Here we have the option now called Analyze. Once we click on the find where this distribution is different, it is going to give us um, a small information about the distribution of this data. So what is the normal distribution? Normal distribution, I'm not sure how many of us would have really worked on statistics. So, I mean, each one of us can really go back and check the data, check the statistical definition of normal distribution of data. But this is how it is going to give you a small narrative that Washington has 5.1% of records, Florida with 3.8% of records, and Texas has 9.8% of records, among others, most affecting the distribution. So, in all these years, these are the 3 regions that are mostly affecting the distribution of sales. And this is going to give us the information. So, how you're going to again utilize this information depends on you. Then comes the summarize. Once you click on any of the visuals, it is going to give you a small information. So like before the presentation, especially in one-on-one presentation, not one-on-one, in-person presentation, it becomes very difficult because you cannot refer to your notes, etc. So these virtual presentations, I believe, are still better off. Why? Because you can refer to your notes that you might be maintaining, maybe on a white sheet, or maybe on your dual screen, on the other screen, that the one that you're not presenting. It's still easier to read, I believe, from there. But it becomes very tricky where you are in person presenting your information. So this can give you a small narrative. This is called smart narrative. So once you right clicked here, it would have given you an option of summarize. And once you click on summarize, this is the smart narrative that you're giving. So see, it's not only giving you that in 2018 or 2017, what were the sales? It is also giving you that sales trended up, resulting in a 50.35% increase between 2014 and 2017. Now you don't have to do those calculations because Power BI is like we discussed in the previous session, that it's an artificial intelligence enabled tool, and it is not preempting, but it is intelligently creating the narrative for us all. So the sales started trending up on 2014, rising by 50.35 in 3 years. Sum of sales jumped from this to this during its steepest incline between 2014 and 17. So this is the brief information that the this is providing us about the graph that we have created. Right? Any questions so far? Okay.
Ma'am, repeat bifurcate, how to bifurcate data.
Bifurcate region wise?
Okay, ma'am.
No. What was your question? Bifurcation? Uh, which bifurcation you are talking about? How we created
Region
the
wise,
four
region.
region wise.
Yes,
Okay.
how to.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we've plotted the data on x-axis. We've plotted the order date, and y-axis is sales. Now, there's this option called small multiples. Now, this visual is not available for, this option is not available for all the visuals. Generally, it is available for bar graph. So what we are going to do is we are going to pull the region and put it here under small multiples. And this is how it is going to create 4 small bar charts for us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Great. Thank you so much. So let's make changes in this bar chart only. Let's take month on x-axis, order date here, and quarter and day, and then we are going to take sales in y-axis. So as we can see here, the names are coming as January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So this is not how we would want our data. I mean, this is not how we would want the month names to be presented as. Why? Because say, while we are in a presentation, usually this is the size of our chart that we would be presenting in. Why? Because there's going to be a lot of data that is going to be there. So what are we going to do? We'll go to the like we done in the Power Query. We'll go to Edit Query. Sorry, just give me a second. We'll go to table view for order, and we need to click on just give me a second. Let's just try and do it together. We have order date in under order column. Let's duplicate this column. Let's create another copy of this column. I'll explain why. Now, can someone just help me? How are we going to extract the month number from this?
From add column,
Where should I go now?
there is a drop down date.
Right.
Month.
So this will give me the month number. How should I go and take the month name? Name of the month. And can someone just tell me? I just want the first three letters here. How should I extract the first three letters? We'll go to the Home tab. Where should I go now? Transform, extract, first characters. Count is 3. Okay, right? So let's go and close this. Close and apply. And instead of, let's say, instead of order date, let's just try and plot month name. So now it is giving me the data in this way, right? Now, as we can see, it is giving me in descending order, but it is not giving me month-wise data. How are we going to solve this issue? We need to uh, click on um, order date. That's Sort column by month. Let's see if it's done the trick or not. No, this hasn't worked. So we need to select it again. Table tools. Let me come back on this. Not sure what I'm missing here, but arranging this in the monthwise, let me just come back on this, right? Okay, let's just try move on to the next topic, and before the end of the session, I'll come back on that part. Let's move again to plotting our data in a bar chart. Let's plot order, right? Order ID, and then we are going to plot sales. Okay, so the moment we've plotted the dates in this chart, you can see that there are a lot many options that are enabled. Earlier, we used to have only the filter and the focus mode and these three dotted options. Now we have the drill up option. We have the drill down option. Let's click on drill up. So earlier the data that was represented was day wise. Now once we clicked on the drill up, it has now segregated the data in the month format. One more drill up, it's in quarter format. One more drill up, it's yearly. Drill down. So the moment I had clicked on 2016, it has enabled a drill down of that. Say quarter three, now it is giving me quarter three of 2016 comprises of July, August, and September. Let's click on September. It has further drilled it down, right? So this is drill up and drill down. Let me just drill it up. Now, this is go to the next, the two down pointing arrows. Let's click what does it says. Now it is giving us quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this is cumulative data that it is giving us. Again, this is sum of sales by month. If we would want to drill on September month, it is giving us the September month data. So this is drill up and drill down. Next is expand all down one level in the hierarchy. So this is giving us 2014, 15, 16, and 17. So while drill down was year wise, we were drilling down. This the weighing balance that we can see, it is drilling down equally on the yearly basis and quarterly. So if I click further down, then it's going to give us the monthly data. So you don't have to really, while giving the presentation, you don't have to click on if you're presenting in day mode, month mode, or quarter mode. You can plot the data and you can actually, play with the cursor and the buttons that are provided in the Power BI. Okay. I would want you all to focus on this date segment where my cursor is hovering. So once I click on the order date, you can see that there is a hierarchy that is coming by itself, which is date hierarchy. Once I click on the right pointing arrow, it has now become, the drop down has expanded. It is giving us date hierarchy, which is giving us year, quarter, month, and day. Now, because there is multiple information here under this segment, this hierarchy has automatically gotten created. What if I would want to create a hierarchy at my own end? Say for location, I would want to create a hierarchy. Let's click on these dots and it is giving us an option of create hierarchy. It has created a hierarchy. Now let's click on region. Right click on that. I'll tell it, add it to hierarchy. Which hierarchy? Country hierarchy. Once I expand, I have the option of country and region. Now let's click on state, add it to hierarchy, country hierarchy. Now it has added state here. Try. So this is how you can create hierarchy. Any doubts so far? Okay. Next topic is with respect to drill through. What we did right now was just before we were creating the hierarchy was drill down. Now there is a concept called drill through. How is it different from drill down? Let's create a matrix here. And we are going to plot two items. Let's plot two items here, order ID and sales. Right? Now, if I have to click, and I would want further details with respect to that, what were this order ID all about? There is nothing that I can gauge from here. So what I need to do is I need furthermore information that what was the customer, what was the profit margin that I had earned. So for that, I need to create another page. Let's click on a matrix here and pull it a bit down. And let's plot customer ID, profit, and from which segment did I earn this profit, right? So this is what we've plotted through. Now, while we are on this matrix and we are under build visual, there is this option called drill through that is there with me. Now, I'll pull order ID under this drill through. Now, what it has done is it has created a back button here. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to connect two pages. On one page, I have data with respect to order ID and sum of sales. And on other page, I have plotted the data with respect to the segment, profit, and the customer ID. Now, how am I going to link these two pages? The primary key here would be the order ID, right? Now, once I hover around on this back button, it is telling click control plus click to go to the previous page. So here I am. Now, the moment I click on any of the, I don't need to click on the order ID, right click on this. It is now giving me an option of drill through. I'll go to the page number 24 and it is giving me an option that that particular order ID was placed by customer ID 19360. It was under consumer segment 6,734 and this was the total order amount. I'll control and click back. I'll click on another this thing. And this is the information that it is providing me. So instead of sales, I think we had plotted profit. So it is giving me the information about profits. Should I repeat or is it clear to everyone? Is everyone with me?
Ma'am, repeat please, ma'am.
Sorry, what did you say, Prasida?
Repeat, ma'am, please.
Okay, I'll just repeat. I'll remove these charts again. Let me create a new page only. So we'll create a matrix here. So what is the data that we are plotting here? We are plotting, say, customer ID, order ID, and say sales. Now, if I want further more information that what was this order ID all about, it is giving me a drill through option because already I've created a drill through in another page while part of my other session. So let me just delete that page and then we'll see if it's giving us that option. So now when I right click, you'll see that I'm not getting an option of drill through here, right? What if I want further details that what was this order ID all about? So instead of pulling in other information, let's just try and plot the information here. We'll plot, say, customer ID, profit, and segment. Now, this is the information that this customer ID has given us a profit or loss under this segment, and this is the total. Because multiple customer can deal in multiple segments as well. Now, in order to link the this matrix with the new page, say this is our target page. How are we going to link these two pages? We are going to link, now there is going to be one primary key. So what is that primary key going to be? Order ID. We are going to pull this order ID in the drill through segment, which has created this back button. Control and click on this back button, it will take me to the previous page. Now when I hover around and I right click on any of the order ID, it is now giving me an option of drill through. Where do you want me to drill through? It is the target page, the new page that we created. We'll click on the target page. It will give me the details of customer ID, consumer, and whatever is the information. So all I'm trying to say is that while you're in a presentation and your manager suddenly asks you, or your senior stakeholders, say your uh, I don't know, senior director asks you that what was the issue? Yeah, why were the sales so low for this order ID? Or whatever is the information they are asking, you can immediately go and I mean take out the details from here. So just take a moment to absorb this information maybe, and let me know if you're good to proceed further. So just wanted to ask one thing. Is everybody trying and practicing once we are through with the session?
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome. I think I heard a beep. Just wanted to check if somebody's joined in. No. Okay. Our next graph that we are going to talk about is scatter chart. Now, what is scatter chart all about? Scatter chart shows us where is our population most scattered or clustered. So let's just pull some information here. We'll okay. So one thing that I missed telling you. No, I think I've shared everything. Sorry. Okay. So let's plot. profit y-axis and sales on x-axis, and let's put customer ID. Okay, so something that I wanted to share here was that while plotting these metrics, always ensure that you're pulling that information from your main fact table only. In the sense, like we are on this chart, the sales and the order ID that I've pulled are from the main fact table. The moment you're going to pull this information from all other tables, that is where the data will become messy. Even though a data might be replicated, there, all these tables and the fact table is nothing but a replication of only one master table, basis which we'd created separate tables in the last session. But pulling data from one table is, always maintains the sanity of the data. So in case there is some information that is not available in your fact table, I mean, like segment is something that we pull from the customer table, that is absolutely fine. But all of the information which is there in your fact table, so try and pull that information from your fact table. So this was what that I wanted to say. Sorry. Okay. Now what this graph is showing us, let's click here and click on the expand mode. So it is giving us that most of our clientele is clustered here somewhere around 5,000 or a little less than 10,000. All of our clients are somewhere who are giving us sales are majorly clustered here. One or two bubbles here and there are nothing, but these are outliers. So outliers in business is not something that we focus majorly on unless it is hampering our capability index, which is again a statistical, it's not a statistical tool, but it comes across as a topic in Lean Six Sigma, which gives you the information if your processes are capable or not. So what is a process? Just sharing a brief, a set of repeatable and reproducible set of actions. So here if we see that these outliers, one or two outliers, are not really going to hamper our business. Hamper in the sense they are not going to give us business in the long run. Neither are they going to give us major losses here and there. Now, this is where our major clientele is centered around. So, this is the area that we need to focus upon. Now, this information is something which none of the charts will be able to give you. This is something that only scatter diagram can give you. Now, let's just try and focus on. Now, it is giving us negatives also. So, let's add a filter that our profit is greater than 0 and apply filter. So losses are something that we would not want to focus right now as part of our strategy. You are part of these management and you're finalizing KPIs, say, for next quarter. So even though the major themes have already been decided by the senior management, now you're being asked to uh, develop strategies. You're regional manager and you've been asked to develop strategies for your region for next quarter. So losses are something definitely that will be there in your strategy, but what is going to be your main customer focus? So here is going to be your main customer focus, and this information will only be given by your scatter diagram, right? Now, what all variables did we use here? We used customer ID, sales, and profit. Now, sales and profit are numerical data. Customer ID can be your alphanumeric. Now, the relationship where we are using more than two variables becomes your bivariate analysis. So this is your scatter diagram, and in scatter diagram we are doing bivariate analysis. So bivariate necessarily means that where we are trying to analyze data between two variables, in more than two variables, where Just give me a second. There's some message from Edu4Sure. Guys, can I just put myself on mute? Just give me a second, please. Apologies for keeping you on hold. So, is everybody on board with me here? What is scatter diagram and what is bivariate analysis? So in bivariate analysis, there are more than two variables. The relationship between numerical and non-numerical data is bivariate. Univariate would mean primarily where there is one numerical and one non-numerical. So where there are two univariate is where we are trying to analyze the relationship between two variables where one is a numerical and one is a non-numerical factor. Whereas bivariate would mean we are trying to analyze the relationship between more than two variables where um, um, the variables could be numerical to non-numerical. Right? Okay. Now let's just try and see forecasting. So it's a disclaimer that I'm sharing in advance that forecasting in Microsoft tools are not something that I swear by usually, because once I had tried in my corporate career, I had tried and to utilize this forecasting tool that is already there in Microsoft products like Excel, etc., and it doesn't work. But still, for the purpose of the session and because it's there in the course, use your I mean, decision making while using the forecasting tool. So my personal experience is that I usually don't swear by this, but because it's there and it's a good to know thing, so I'm sharing here. So let's plot some order date here, and along with that, let's plot sales. So it is giving us the data that we have, that in 2014 what were the sales, 2015, 2016, 2017. Now basis this information, I would want to forecast my next 3 years sales as well. So why are we taking 3 years here? Usually it's not suggested that you should go above and beyond 3 years because I mean, every moment the business changes, environment changes, and it's usually not recommended to go above and beyond 3 years. But for exploration purposes, you can definitely go and check that. So while I have clicked on this visual, I need to go to analytics now. I have clicked on the analytics and I'll type forecast. And once I was typing forecast, you can see that it is switched off. I need to switch the button on. There's an option that I'm getting which is called units. So under this units, right now, let's just try and take it as years. What would be the forecast length that we would want? Like I said, you can do the forecasting as much as you want, but let's take it for 3 years. Let's click on the confidence interval of 99% and apply. So now you can see that it has given me the information, while earlier we only had information for 2014, 15, 16, 17. Now we have forecasted details about 2018, 19, and 20. Once we click on any of the dotted points, it is giving us that what is the forecast. The forecast is 809,000 for 2018. The upper bound is 946,000, whereas the lower bound is 672,000. Now, what is upper and lower bound? Upper and lower bound is that basis the past sales, the maximum sales that can be made in 2018 are 946,000, and the minimum sales that can be dropped onto would be 672,000. So these are the calculations that have been made by the system. Now, what do we mean by confidence interval in forecasting? So the confidence interval is the statistical percentage of certainty you want. When the confidence interval is 80%, we actually say that if we repeat the forecast for different samples, 80% of the times the found values must be in this confidence interval, right? So, I mean, depending on how much confidence interval you would want, you can plot the confidence interval. You can go ahead and read about confidence interval on Google. You'll get more information as to what it is all about in statistics. So my recommendation here usually is that while you're forecasting your data, it's good to use these tools, but you should rather go for professional tools like Minitab in case you would want to use that. That is covered in Lean Six Sigma course if anybody would be interested in. So Lean Six Sigma, Minitab is usually covered, and Minitab is a more sturdier tool when it comes to forecasting. Okay. So here we done forecasting with respect to years, quarters, months, days, hours, minutes, seconds. Can we see that weeks are something that are missing here, right? So for weeks, we can plot the data like we'd calculated. Remember, we'd calculated the weekly data once we click on the edit query. Instead of instead of month, we can convert it into so we can pull the data week-wise, week of the year, etc. And once we have week of the year, we can plot the data accordingly. Are we clear so far? Okay. So the next topic that we are going to do is we are going to explore further few more charts. There's this one chart called merged bar chart. Let's plot the data. This is a simple clustered column chart that I have pulled. Let me plot the data with respect to segment and sales. What if I try and plot profit here? This is how it is giving me the profit data. Let me just try and get more visuals. So from Marketplace, I'm trying to download one visual. Merged bar chart. Add. let's click on the merged bar chart. And this is how the information is now plotted. So what it has done is that for consumer segment, the sales are 1.1 million and the profit derived is 133,000. So previously, while we were in the clustered column chart, this was how the data was represented. In merged bar chart, it has given me two separate charts. I mean, again, it's a personal choice how you would want or how your management would want to see the data. But this is another option that we have, right? Now there is one option called scroller. Let me pull through it. Okay, let me check it from here. Scroller. Let's put scroller here. So the moment I flipped from merged bar chart, see, this is how the information is running. That consumer segment gave me sales of this much was the profit. So the one that we usually see for stock markets or in the news channels where, see, this is how the information is coming down. In case I want to customize this, then let's go here, click on scroller and customize text. Isn't it interesting, guys, that how we can customize our reports? Any doubts so far, anyone? Okay, let's just try and download a new visual now. Infographic designer. And we can take segment as well. So again, see what it has done now. It has created 3 different charts for segment wise. So what all we've done is we've plotted our data with respect to the quarter, year, and what else have we plotted? Sales. Segment-wide sales. So instead of creating three different charts, it has we managed to create three charts just by plotting. Downloading this infographic designer from Marketplace, and this is the result that we've achieved. Now, you might find that there are different ways of doing same thing, similar thing. Now, this is something that we are introducing you, that these are the options available. Again, a lot depends on your own creativity. Now, one good thing about infographic designer is that there is this edit mark as well. You can customize these charts as per your own requirements, that what is the shape that you would want. I don't know, get creative, see what happens. I mean, it's pain to the eyes, but fair enough. Microsoft is giving us the option, so why not explore it, right? Hope everyone is clear so far. Okay, next comes our word cloud. Again, I'll have to download it from the Get More Visuals. Let's plot some data here. Subcategory. Let's plot sales. Automatically, it made some changes. Now, anyone would want to take any guess here? What are we trying to represent here?
Products and their what impact as per the size.
Absolutely, absolutely right. So we've plotted the data with sales and subcategory. So what is happening is that phones is giving us a sale of 329,000. So it is one of the biggest this thing. Chairs is next big thing. It is giving us 326,000. Envelopes is just giving us a sales of 16,476. Supply is only 46,000. Fasteners is 2,987. So this is also how you can plot your data in a creative way, if you would want to. I know this is not the best thing, but I don't know where you might would require to use this in your presentation. I mean, uh, until I had started using Power BI some time back, I used to think that how people can really plot so many words. I mean, create paintings out of it and etc. Now I think that it's pretty pretty easy in Power BI. Just assign a value, and it's going to flash. I mean, basis how much value you've assigned. So it's not only about sales, but something that you would want to maybe at the main index page or the introduction page of your presentation, if you would want to plot something, just assign values, and you can see how what a magic Power BI can create. Okay, this was pretty simple, and I have a dancing mouse today. It's moving all by itself. Okay, let's come to the next chart, which is tornado chart. We'll again go to the Get More Visuals. Fine print tornado. again, subcategory, sales. Let's try and put profit also. So like we created funnel chart once. So tornado is that it's smallest at the bottom and it just grows in size and it's the biggest at the top. So this is tornado chart. Clear? Now what if I try and change the color scheming here? Data colors. So some of sales would be same. So as you can see, I cannot distinguish between the data. The moment I try and change any of the color, it is changing the color for the entire graph, entire chart. I cannot um, be selective here while changing the colors here. So what I can try and do this, it's a manual thing that we can do. Let's just try and select top 5. Right click, which is not working right now. Let me remove profit ones from here. It is not giving me the option. Let's see. It's not giving me the grouping option. Okay, that comes in the bar chart. My bad. It will not come in the tornado. So let's just try and I'll come to the grouping part because it's not applicable in the tornado chart. So it will come in the bar chart. I'll show that to you. Okay. Next comes your cross filtering. A good to know concept. We've done it already in cross highlighting. The moment I select on any of the charts, all other information that is there on that page will automatically filter accordingly. So it's not as if that I'm talking here about binders and here the data represented will be something else. So automatically, even though we have slicers, we have the option of filters. Now this is cross filtering and cross highlighting that we need not necessarily really like if I go to any other page. So if I click here, all other pages will automatically reflect the similar thing. So this one is, so there was one page where we had a lot of charts. Here it is. So if I click on California, all of the information that I can see on this page will only pertain to California only. So this is the concept of cross filtering and cross highlighting. It's a good to know thing. You all have been practicing for quite some time now, but again, something good to know. Okay. While I'm on this page, at times what happens is that while we are hovering and while we are trying to do, so what happens is that at times the graphs usually move. That happened with me. Somebody's joined in.
Oh, I just have a query.
Yeah, please.
On the screen, can we go back to that dashboard? Yeah. Once you have shortened this graph, there
Mhm.
is below one horizontal dotted line which has come. Yes,
Oh,
that one. Yeah,
okay.
that one. So what I am facing is while practicing, uh, I was able to get many graphs inside that horizontal line, but I am not able to pull that horizontal line below or to the bottom of the page so that I can accommodate more graphs in the page.
So
That's what.
you'll not be, because that's the actual size.
Okay.
So, like in a Word document, if you are, uh, you need to adjust your graphs, the size to that. But this is the border of your page where you can work. So, see, if you're painting, so this is the canvas that is there with you. This is giving you the boundary that this is the canvas on which you have to work, and you really cannot move above and beyond this. So, this will be the I mean, out of the border.
Okay. Now you have enlarged this box actually, or the page you have enlarged. How
No,
did it happen?
I did not enlarge it. I have just collapsed these. So see, these arrows that I have here, I have just collapsed these arrows.
Okay. Okay. So the
Otherwise,
mm,
otherwise you can go to the view page under page view, fit to width, and actual size. You can really hover between these three options as well.
okay, got it. Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks, Sai. Okay. So what we were talking about was that at times we are in the presentation. So this is something that I faced, and until quite some time I wasn't really aware of this functionality, because what happens is that quite a few tools, like Dr. Palak said that she's learning SQL. So learning is one thing, but the biggest experience that gets is on the job training that you get. So no matter how much you do your classroom learning, until you really try and work on the data and you're in middle of a presentation, I mean, until one fails at that very moment, the learnings are usually textual only. And I usually say that life is the biggest teacher, and it teaches you a lot of things. So similarly, just give me a second. Sorry. Once I was in the presentation, and that presentation was with senior directors, etc., very senior stakeholders. And the overall team, the department was performing very bad. So I was, like I said, I was from financial services industry. So the department was performing very bad, and we had to focus on a lot of numbers, etc. So while I was trying to expand this graph just moved, one of the graphs. And I mean, at that very moment when this graph moves, it becomes very, um, I mean, embarrassing that this is moving, and I just did not ensure that it's properly locked. So later on, I learned that once we click on the view button, there is an option called lock objects. The moment you click on lock objects, you cannot resize it, you cannot move it. You can click on the data otherwise, but you cannot resize it or move it. It's locked. So while you're appearing for your presentation, always ensure that you lock the objects before going in for the final presentation. Until you actually go for it, you should keep it unlocked. But once you're going for that, it's always advisable to lock it, because as they say that you should learn from others' experiences. So I do not want that you should repeat the same kind of a situation. So even if there are going to be mistakes, let's create newer ones. Okay. Next that we have is sync slicers. So once you click on sync slicers, as it says, it synchronizes slicers and control their visibility across pages in your report. So once you click on the sync slicers, it will synchronize all the slicers that are there on all your pages in all your reports. I mean, in your report on all the pages. Next comes grouping that I was trying to tell you in the tornado chart, and my bad, it works on the bar chart. So let's try and plot some data here. We'll try and plot a subcategory and say profit. usually put it in a stat bar chart. Now let's go to the visual part and add color. So if I'm changing the color, it did not change color. Why it did not change? Because maybe I added in the values. Grid line bar, sorry, I need to change the color of the bar. So I could change the color of the bar, but so change the color here for values. So what if I want to highlight my data only the top 5? Now, through this Power BI, we really cannot create a dynamic visual here, but we can create a static visual. Like if I click on the top 5 with my control key and I right click and I click on group data. So now what it has done is it is presenting me 2 different colors. I can go ahead and change the colors now. Border, background, where did the bar go? Oh, I wasn't selecting this. So now I can change the colors. Now I have 2 options available with me. Now this is a very interim and a very static solution that is there in Power BI. It is not dynamic at all. We can make it dynamic via DAX. So that we'll cover in our next session, next 2 sessions, how we can dynamically change the colors. But until then, we'll have to make peace with the static options that we have. Right? Any questions so far? Any doubt? Or would you guys want to take a moment to absorb these things? I see that Dr. Palak has jumped out. Okay, so I take this as a no that you guys are pretty clear with whatever has been shared so far.
So, ma'am, just one more query in this.
Yep. Sorry.
So, there is we can ask only about this grouping, or I have another question. Should I park it, or I can ask?
Yeah, please do ask.
Yeah. So I saw a graph or a data which is mapped on x and y axis.
Okay.
So same data. So say suppose product is mapped on x axis
Mm-hmm.
and y axis also it is mapped. So x axis it gives the count of the product sale. It
Mm-hmm.
gives the number of times that product has been sold,
Mm-hmm.
and y axis shows the name of the product. So
Okay.
how can we map product on x and y axis both, and how is it counted on x axis, and y axis how it is coming in the form of name is what I wanted to understand.
So you were asking about clustered column chart, maybe?
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah.
Product name. Let's say product name, and you are saying sales.
Yeah. So sales is not the thing I was looking for. So this product number of times the product is sold is
That
mapped.
okay. So
Yeah,
you can
the count, it comes as count of product name. It
okay.
comes as like that. It comes. Yeah.
So you can right click. Just give me a second. Maybe let's just put another this thing category in rows and product name in values, or let's try it this way.
And it was used in bar chart. Now I remember. Bar chart it was used. Bar chart.
Who'd use that?
So my senior reporting managers, what they
Mm-hmm.
use is they use a bar chart, and in the bar chart on x-axis it will be mapped as a model. So we have models. So x-axis model name would come. Sorry, x-axis model count would come in the form of bar, and no, no, sorry, x model name will come, by model count of model will come. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just try and plot it. Let's just finish this session once. You can probably
Yeah,
put it in the chat, and let's
sure,
just try
sure,
and plot it, because I'm sure there's going to be some calculation that we'll have to do at the back end in order to
sure,
plot
sure,
that data, right?
sure, sure. Okay.
Okay. Our next concept is about binning. So what is binning? We'll try and plot again. Let's take a matrix, and what are we going to plot here? Let's take sales, and let's take customer ID. Okay. We'll try and put. Now this is the data that I have plotted. Now see, what is this data telling me? Nothing. Analytics is all about making your data talk to you. Now, what is this data talking to me? That 0.44 sales were made by one customer, 0.56 were made by one customer, 0.84. Now, if this is how I'm going to scroll through for 793 customers, imagine that at actual workplace, this is dummy data. At actual workplace, how cumbersome this is going to be. This is not how. This is not how we are really working. Just give me a second, guys, please. Sorry. So we want this data to be intelligently talking to us. How are we going to do that? So let's just right click here and click on new group. It is giving me an option to create a group. Let's just try this, and after that we'll try and understand what is this all about. I'm just retaining the values the way they are, and let's click on OK. And here in this matrix, instead of sales, let me replace it with sales bin. So now let's just try and explore this. What is it saying? That above 0, 790 sales were there. 514, I mean, it's just trying to give us a range that 0 to 514, 437 clients had placed an order. Between 514 to 1029, 183 clients had placed an order. Between 1029 to 1543, 93 clients had placed an order. Between this 37, this sum is incorrect because this is giving us the total of how many orders were there, but this is how it is going to create a range for us. Now let's just try and edit this group and see what we had done was we've created a name called sales bin. So what is bin all about? Bin is nothing but creating a group. So like in our preliminary elementary classes, we learned about creating ranges. So grouping or creating bins is nothing but defining a range. So we created a name sales. What was the field that we'd selected? We'd selected sales. What is the group type? By default, it's bin. We'd right now opted for size of bins. What is the minimum value that we had selected? This was the maximum value. What would be the bin size? Originally, we had selected it as 514, which automatically the system was selecting. Let's take it to 1000. And this is what it has done now. Right? So, what is the one of the consequence of creating large bins? One of the consequence of creating large bins is that between 0 to 1000, all the order IDs have now been reported under this. 1000 to 1, I mean 1000 and above are 262. Now, what are going to be the number between 0 to 1000? This is not mutually exclusive, this is mutually inclusive. So this is one, when we are creating bigger bins, this is the issue that we are going to face. So going forward, I mean, in case you would want, you can create smaller bins. So we'll create another bin now, sales bins. Instead of size of bins, let's create number of bins. So say 44 are the bin count that we are going to create, and 500 should be the bin size. And let's replace sales bin with there's something wrong with the we created 44 bins bin count. So we created 4 bins. Automatically the system had calculated that it's going to be, the size is going to be 5500 if 4 is the count that we are going to maintain. So 5500, 11,000, 16,500. So this is the concept of binning. Any confusion? Okay. Let's move to our next topic, which is Tooltip. So we've already learned about Tooltip in one of our previous topics that I've covered. Now this will be all about creating a page as a tooltip. What are we going to do? Let me just close few of these previous pages because we'll have to link some of the charts. Let's use this only. Okay. Now we are going to use the page as a tooltip. Earlier, what we done was, while we were hovering on any of the graphs, it was giving us the tooltip. We could customize this tooltip to some extent. What if I want the entire page as a tooltip? Go to the View tab, click on Page View, and click on Actual Size. Now what it has done is, it has given me a dotted line, which earlier was there as well. Now, what we need to do is, we need to go to the Format section, go to Page Info, and allow Use as a Tooltip, page number 30. So we can rename this. Okay, let's keep it this way because I've not renamed this. Allow Use as a Tooltip. I have switched it on. It did not get on. On. Right? Now let's go to the rename this page as tooltip. We were on page number 24, no, 26. We'll select on this chart. We'll go to the visualization part. We'll click on tooltip, and it is not giving me any option. So what are we going to do now? Let me create a new visual and plot some data here. Order date and maybe sales. Click here, click on tooltip. Okay, so here now we can see that I have the tooltip option available with me. It is already switched on. I need to connect it to my page, which is, it is not showing me the report page. Why it is not showing me the tooltip page? When I have enabled the tooltip here, allow users tooltip is on. And click here. Switch it on. Report page is which page? Let me create a new page. Somewhere there's some issue. Order date. And then there is sales. We'll go to this. We'll go to tooltip. Okay, pages tooltip, my bad. tooltip is something that I'm connecting it with, right? Now let's just plot some chart here. I'll plot another bar chart here, which is giving me information with respect to, say, subcategory and segment. And maybe say profit. So while I'm here on my page and I click here, so it will show me the tooltip here. Can we see the difference, guys, here?
Yes.
Right? Now, what if I want only, so here on tooltip I've taken very random data. Let's plot maybe a better information. I plotted only instead of subcategory, let's plot customer ID and let's plot sales and remove segment. Okay, now I would want only the I would want to apply the filter here that only top 5 customers should be visible here. So how are we going to apply a filter here? I'm going to select this visual and count of customer ID. It's not count that we would want, it would be the customer details only. And we would want to apply a filter, maybe say on the basis of sales, where the sales top 5, and by value, what value would we want to select? Via sales, apply filter. So it is giving us the information of the customer basis the top 5 customers. So this is how you can customize your information with respect to tooltip. You can create the page as a tooltip. You can, I mean, you don't need to visit this page time and again, but once you'll be hovering on your main bar chart, this is how you can extract information. Any questions anyone has? Okay, so there was one thing that I had to cover, which was that I was not able to sort the data. So let's just try and sort the data. We were on page number. Here itself. We are going to sort this data. We need to go to the table view. sort by month. My bad, guys. I'm not able to figure this out why we are not able to sort this data month-wise. But other than this, anyone has any questions? Sai had one question, so Sai has posted it
Yeah,
in
so
the.
I cross-checked, ma'am, I cross-checked the dashboard of my manager.
Okay,
He
okay,
indeed has done a calculation.
okay.
The that's what. So my doubt is cleared about that. Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. It's good that you're referring to the dashboards that are already there in your, floated in the presentations. So, um, my bad, guys. I'll come back on this. Um, I'm not sure what's the issue, but this is how I think we would sort by column. But I'll come to this part. I think I'm missing somewhere something here. But anything else that anyone would want to ask?
Yeah, just one more query from my end. Can the dashboards that you are creating during this session, can it be shared to us so that we'll keep referring and keep practicing?
Um, I will have to ask this, Sai. So
Yeah.
I'll confirm it from the Edu4Sure team, and you'll receive a report in case it's possible.
Okay.
So they'll come back to you.
Okay. Okay.
And with respect to this, I'll definitely come back. Why we
Yeah.
are not able to sort this data? What is it that I'm missing here? So this is it for the session. Um, any other chart that you would want me to repeat or drill through, or anything that anyone would want to? We still have like 10 12 minutes with us because
Yeah, hi.
we haven't. Yep. Hi.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, just I want to know that this is the something that in the canvas we are just making our bar chart. So at the end, how we will be presenting it to our managers. So is there any specific further procedure as well?
So Ankit, you'll be shared how to create a report, but again it will be a very high level overview that will be provided, how to put in the heading and how to place the charts and graphs and everything. At the end of the day, it is going to be your creativity only.
Okay. So
So yeah.
this is not the page that we will be sharing to our managers. This is something that I am just creating uh, from my point of view, and at the end I will be copying pasting it to something another that you can say the publishing report what I came to hear about it. So is that correct?
No. This is the report where you're working. If you're going to copy and paste it somewhere else, trust me, it's not going to be dynamic.
Okay.
So if we go and visit our one of the pages, I don't remember the page number, but there we had a lot of charts and graphs. Let me just. So in case you're going to copy pasting it, somebody had asked me I think in last session only, or I don't remember when, that while publishing, in case we have to publish it in PowerPoint, how are we going to do that? In case you're going to change the format, in case you're going to publish it in case you're going to publish it in PowerPoint, just give me a second please. 1 second please. So the moment you're going to publish it in PowerPoint, it will no longer be a dynamic and an interactive chart. It will become a very static chart. So what do we mean by static chart? Let me just open that. I don't know where that chart went. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the moment I click on any of the bubbles here, the entire data on this page accordingly changes. So if you're going to publish this in PowerPoint, it will no longer be this dynamic. It will be a static chart. It will not be talking through. So if your management asks you anything at that very spur of a moment, you'll not be able to make any changes. And trust me, Ankit, then what's the use of creating your report, your dashboard in a Power BI? If this is how it is going to be, if this is how you're going to present it in a static format, then even Excel and PowerPoint would serve the purpose, right?
Yes, got it. So at the end, where will we presenting our data to our managers? So what interface would be that? I
So
just wanted to.
so you're going to publish it in cloud. We are going to tell you about that. You're going to publish Power BI in the cloud, and you'll be sharing it with your management. So irrespective of wherever you are, this is how you're going to share it.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So if this is how it is going to be, so say this is your page. I don't know where that page has went. I think I must have deleted it. So if this is how it is going to be, say you're going to add a heading. These are your sales. This is going to be your, so this is how you're going to plot your data. I mean, this is just a sample example that I'm showing.
Yes.
So the moment you're going to click anywhere on your chart, your entire data is going to change as per that information. So all I'm trying to say is that this is the interactive dashboard that you've created, and this is how your reports are going to be. If you want to segregate between this and this, then probably you can add border here, visual border, black, colors, etc. So all I'm trying to say is that this is how you're going to segregate between your um, charts and graphs, and this is where you're going to present. So say you're in a presentation and you're presenting what were the sales in last few years, etc. So the profit earned has been 285,000, and what are the sales that you've California has been the biggest. California and New York have created the maximum sales, etc. And what are the profit by subcategory that you've created. So copiers tends to be the highest profit maker along with phones, etc. And I mean, this is how it is going to be. So this is your report. You're going to place the graphs and the charts depending upon, like Sai is referring to the Power BI report that has been prepared by his manager. In case you have any report in your organization that can give you a fair enough idea. Otherwise, I think the better option would be you should really go and do some research on Google. Where should the heading be? Definitely we'll be taking you through one of the report creation in the last session that we'll have. So we'll be covering it as part of that, but again, it's your creativity, and I think the best part would be that you go at your own end and do the entire research how you would want your report to look like.
Yes, they got it.
Fair enough. So our next session will be on 26th. So I just wanted to ask, Is the after 26th, the next session will be on 1st of April. So would you want to wrap it up in March itself, or April 1st would suit everyone? I was thinking in case 25th and 26th, 2 days we should cover DAX. I am good with 26th and 1st of April as well, but just wanted to ask for your opinion.
So the session will be extended during that time on 26th. I mean,
No, it will not be extended. I was saying that 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday, we can have session in case it suits you guys. Else, I'm good with 26th, which is a Sunday, and 2nd April, which is again a Sunday. I'm okay with both the options. Instead of first, it's second, sorry.
I think I'm fine with the 25th and 26th as well.
Yeah, okay for me as well. 25, 26.
Manju says 2nd of April, so I think let's just take it that ways
Okay.
only. So even one person, if is not okay, we are good with that.
Even myself, ma'am, I will be uh, preferring April, 1st of April.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. So perfect. Any other
And ma'am,
any?
just
Yeah.
yeah, just one more query. Like this topic, this sessions will cover SQL also, or DAX only?
So it'll cover only DAX. It'll not cover the SQL linking part,
Okay, okay.
right? So any other question anyone has?
Uh,
Perfect. I think
uh,
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, just one last question. So the things which we have covered till yet. So is there any documented you can say the things which we have covered in a document format so that we can refer if possible?
Okay, so what you can do is on the Edu4Sure website under certification courses, you will see the entire list. So in between the session, you will also hear that I'm turning the pages. So I have also jotted down the topics where I have written that what is it that I have to cover as part of the session. So there should be a proper flow. So I have maintained the flow that is there on the that has been committed by the Edu4Sure. So you can find that on the Edu4Sure. So should I show you where you can see that?
No, I think
Yes, ma'am.
I will
Yes,
refer.
ma'am.
I think Sai Kiran wants to.
Yep, I'll share that. So let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, visible, visible.
Okay, so I've clicked on the certificate courses. You can go to DAX or Power BI, whichever you would want. And under Power BI course, you can see all like we'd shared focus mode, spotlight, format painter, tooltip, small multiple, summarize, analyze, smart narrative, custom sorting, drill down, custom bivariate analysis, line chart, forecasting, confidence interval, merged bar chart, scroller, infographic designer, lock objects, sync slicers, grouping, binning, customized tooltip. These things we'll be covering in our next session. So until customized tooltip, everything has been covered, right?
Yes, we got it.
So you
Thank
can
you so
refer
much.
what all has been covered via this. Perfect. So I think we are good to go from here. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening and have a great start to the Monday. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.